I noticed a strange man wearing a hat following me. When I turned around, he hid his face in his hat and disappeared into the street. Hello, I am Emma. I am from a poor family. My dad died when I was little, leaving only me and my mother. We face the hardships of life by ourselves. I will tell you my story and how my life went from rags to riches overnight. I completed high school with high marks, and I needed to get into college. I went to the registrar's office, dropped off my form, and came back home where I found my mother in the kitchen. Hello, Emma. Mom, how many times have I told you not to get out of bed? I'm cooking your favorite dish. I didn't want you to come back home and not find anything to eat. Don't worry about me, Mom. I'm used to being hungry, but I don't want you to get sick again. Mom changed the subject as usual. She doesn't like to discuss her illness and always pretends to be well in front of me. Any news on getting into college? I dropped off my registration and I should hear back in a few days. You'll be accepted, darling. Your performance speaks for itself. The next day, the director's secretary called and told me that they had accepted me. I was overjoyed by the news, but the happiness didn't last long when they told me how much tuition cost, which was an exorbitant amount. My mom asked, "Maybe I can give it to you." "It's not possible, Mom. We couldn't earn in years what I have to pay for 1 year." "But it's a prestigious school. You'll get a job right away after you graduate. Don't rush to withdraw your application." I'm going to withdraw it. I headed to the university despite my mother's insistence to forbid me. I withdrew the application, but when I left, I noticed a strange man wearing a hat following me. When I turned around, he hid his face in his hat and disappeared into the street. I rushed home and didn't tell Mom what happened to avoid aggravating her more. That evening, a call came from the university telling me I'd been accepted. What? Who paid the tuition? A man said he was doing a good deed. He paid the entire tuition for your program. Who was this person? I don't know anybody and I have no relatives. I don't know. He didn't give his name. The important thing is that you can come tomorrow to complete your enrollment. I spent all night thinking about the man who followed me and about the man who paid my tuition. I wonder who they are. Are they the same person? That morning I got dressed and hurried to the university. I finished enrolling and left. On the way back, a blue-eyed man in his 40s locked eyes with me. I looked at him and he started walking towards me. I hurried, but he followed me. My fear escalated. I went the wrong way so he wouldn't know where I was staying. I thought it was the same man who had followed me yesterday. I returned home and called my mom, but there was no reply. I called her name again with no response. I called her phone and a nurse answered. "Your mom is a little tired. Come to the hospital right away." "Goodness, what's the matter?" I asked. "I think that her condition is getting worse. When you get here, we'll talk about it more." I cried over what the nurse said. I don't have anyone in the whole world but my mother. If I lose her, I'll be alone forever. I changed my clothes and headed to the hospital. I met the nurse as she was leaving my mom's room. "Goodness, what's happening to her?" "She needs surgery immediately." "And what did my mom tell you?" As usual, she refused because she doesn't have any money. "Fine, get her ready for surgery and I'll take care of the rest." I had no one to borrow from, and even if I did, I had no way to pay it back. But I didn't want to lose my mom. I went into the room and collapsed in her lap, crying. "Don't worry, my little one. It's just a little ailment. I'll bounce back like always." "No, you're pretending and hiding the pain from me. You need to do the surgery." "Where will you get the money for us? If I only had a little, I would pay for your studies." "Sustenance is in the hands of God. By the way, I registered for college today and was accepted. She was happy to hear the news, but I didn't tell her the details. I will tell you everything after you get home safely. I left the hospital. As soon as I walked out, I saw the same man who was following me. He looked at me, then lowered his hat and strolled inside. What a strange man. What is his story? I ran to the house afraid that he would catch me again. As soon as I got to the house, the hospital called me. Emma, your mom is going to have the surgery tonight. That was fast. Wait a little so I can get the money to pay for it. No need. A donor already paid the whole amount this morning. What? I was floored by what she said. I was sure then that it was the man in the hat that paid for my tuition as well as for my mom's operation. I spent the night tossing in my bed, praying for my mom to recover and praying for the benefactor who helped us. I begged God to let me meet him again so that I could find out why he helped us. Does he know us? I had so many questions burning inside me, keeping me from sleep that night. In the morning, I woke up late when the nurse called to tell me that my mom was well and that she wanted to see me. I went to the hospital, into Mom's room, and found her smiling to see me. Finally, you will be free of pain once and for all. Where did you get the money for the operation? I was stunned yesterday when the nurse told me I would be having the operation immediately. She didn't tell you who paid? No, she said. Ask Emma. She knows. Don't worry, there is a charitable person who wanted to give alms. He paid the bill. But who is he? How does he know us? I want to see him so that I can thank him. I stumbled, not knowing how to respond. Rest now. I will introduce you to him when you leave the hospital. I kissed her and said as I was leaving, I'm going to get your medicine. I left, looking left and right. Maybe I would see the man in the hat on my way. I went to the pharmacy, bought the medicine, and on my way back noticed a shadow following me. I looked back and found him behind me. I turned around, shuddering. Who are you? Who are you? Don't be afraid. I'm a friend. Why are you helping me? It's a long story. We'll meet and we can talk. Tomorrow, in the cafeteria next to the university. Good. Farewell, and we'll meet tomorrow. He hid his face in his hat and left. My friends, I was longing to know this man's secret. And if you would like to know also who he is, then wait for the next episode. Goodbye!